Welcome, folks, to the next episode of BattleTech Simplified, Season 2. I'm Michael Shockman, I'll be your host and commentator today, and in today's episode we will be covering one of the quintessential early dedicated battle mechs. A contemporary of the first battle mech, the Mech. This mech was purpose-built to offer an upgrade to that venerable progenitor of the battle mech. Today we'll be covering the Griffin. Built in 2492, the Griffin was originally classified as a heavy battle mech, filling in the weight gap between mammoth machines like the Mech and the smaller recon mechs like the Wasp, and intended for close assaults. Combining tremendous speed and firepower in one frame, the Griffin briefly dominated in this role before being superseded by larger and better supported or better equipped mechs. However, the Griffin was very popular among commanders and pilots alike, and so Earthworks Incorporated kept it in production, this time reclassified as a medium mech and tasked with long-range fire support for medium lances. In this capacity, the Griffin has excelled, combining good striking power, endurance, and speed, with its only major weakness being a lack of close-range defensive weapons. During the Succession Wars, the Griffin could be found in almost every unit of all the great houses and mercenary forces, thanks in part to its diverse number of manufacturers. Besides being constructed from Earthworks' factory on Keystone, the Griffin was later acquired and built by Defiance Industries on Hesperus II, Callian Industries on Talon, Brigadier Corporation on Oliver, and Norse Battle Mech Works, later Victory Industries on Marduk. It was even manufactured in the periphery by Vandenberg Mechanized Industries on Illusion. Only the Capellan Confederation lacked a means of building the mech, although they made up for it by purchasing a limited number of the from the Taurian Concordat. During the Fourth Succession War, some of these manufacturers exchanged hands, with the Draconis Combine capturing Marduk from the Federated Sons, and the Lyrian Commonwealth taking over Oliver from the Free Worlds League. This exchange also happened to coincide with several new variants being designed specifically to exploit recently discovered lost tech. As such variants meant specifically for either houses Karita, Merrick, or the Federated Commonwealth, found their way into the arsenals of all of them. During the clan invasion, these manufacturers produced the new variants to meet the clan threat, while Vandenberg Industries continued to build original GRF-1N Griffins. When Vicor Industries began shopping around its Project Phoenix initiative, Defiance and Callan Industries signed on to begin producing the completely redesigned GRF-65 Griffin. Victory Industries later signed up as well after the legal battle between Wolf's Dragoons and the Lyran Alliance saw the famous mercenary group selling its light fusion engine technology to both the Draconis Combine and the Free Worlds League. The League designed a native update to the Griffin, while Comstar had their own built as well, which, ominously, soon began appearing in the ranks of the Word of Blake militia. The Griffin would continue to remain a staple of the battlefields of the Inner Sphere during the maelstrom of the Jihad, the era of the Republic of the Spear, and the rise of the Ill Clan, with models still in production within the Free Worlds League and the Wolf Empire. As for its weapons and equipment, ladies and gentlemen, the primary weapon of the Griffin was a Fusagon PPC in the right arm, backed up by a Delta Dart LRM-10 launcher mounted in a drum over the right shoulder. The BBC allows the Griffin to work in a long-range support role, while the LRM launcher also gives the Griffin some indirect fire support capabilities, and in the right torso also allows for good endurance. The Achilles heel of its design is the lack of short-range weapons for when an enemy is capable of closing ranges and engaging in close combat with the Griffin, and the fact that all of its weapons are located on the right torso. The mech is, however, equipped with 2 powerful battle fists for hand-to-hand combat in close range. As for its equipment, the massive and efficient Core-Tech 275 fusion engine of the Griffin gives it a cruising speed of 57.1 kilometers per hour, and combined with the 5 jump jets occupying the rear torso areas for a total jumping distance of 150 meters. It is what distinguishes it from the other medium mechs and has kept the Griffin in the game over the centuries. Unfortunately, like most other early battle mechs, the Griffin suffers from insufficient heat capacity, with only 12 single heat sinks installed. The result is that Griffin pilots, lacking the ability to do both, must choose at the outset of a fight whether to engage or withdraw. 9.5 tons of standard armor plating compares quite favorably to many other medium mechs of the time, although as is often the case with the Griffin will find itself in combat with larger mechs. For this reason, 2 pairs of false armor baffles were added to the mech, one on its shoulders providing limited protection to the LRM launcher and cockpit, and a smaller one on the legs protecting the knee joints. As for my personal feelings on the Griffin, it's something. Honestly, it's kind of hilarious considering that this is the last episode of the medium section of season 2, to end on a down note. But honestly, the Griffin is just the most fine mech of the game. But admittedly, it is an early battle mech. It was a contemporary of the Mackie, so you kind of got to give it some slack for that. I kind of got to give it some slack for that. But honestly, if I were playing a game during that section, right after the Age of War, I would totally take the Griffin at a moment's notice to be able to engage at long range, no doubt. But if I was playing in modern times, or like in the FedCom Civil War, or even in the Clan era, there are better things you can possibly do. So honestly, my final judgment is, for early games, it's okay. For early set games, it's okay. It's pretty good actually. But for modern games, there's so many better options. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me on this 4-part medium mech extravaganza of this section of Season 2. Stay tuned for next week when we start into the Season 2, Section 3, where we will be covering heavy mechs. I'm looking forward to that. Some of my favorite mechs are heavy mechs, so look forward to that. If you haven't already, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It helps out immensely. Thank you so much. Also, be sure to ring the bell icon so that you never miss out whenever our videos go live. Last but not least, comment down below telling me what your feelings on the Griffin are. Do you think it's not all it's cracked up to be, or do you think it's a diamond in the rough? Let me know down below. Anyway, guys, I'm Michael Schrockman. I've been your host and commentator. Stay tuned for next week when we dive into the first episode of the heavyweight bracket of Season 2. And until then, remember as always, no guts, no galaxy. Later, everybody.